Hello my good friends, it's Roger, Mudfossil University. Today going to be working on some of the stuff Greg sent in. Greg Morrison down in Gatlinburg did some dragon feather scale analysis, recovery, retrieval, and so forth. Now, we're going to go over this in great detail soon. First, I'm going to have you see the things that Greg has discovered. Now, this pattern will become extremely apparent, and it is this pattern right here, which is the pattern of feathers. And that pattern is also seen in the feathers that are on site where he is, and he has collected them, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So, let's just roll on into this. Here we go. I'm telling you, I think that might be one of these. See this? This is, it's very hard for you to see, but there's, you see, you might be able to see the lines in that. Those are growth pattern lines. And somebody sent me something saying that is just like in turtles. The shells of turtles. But look at that. Now here he goes.
That's the area that I was just in. And as it goes up, you can see the layers. And this is not uplift. This is not geologic uplift like they try to explain in the books, like we were taught in school. This never sat well with me. The Devil's Tower never made any sense about basaltic volcanic formations that just suddenly protrude straight out of the ground for no reason at all in perfect columns.
This is growth pattern. It's exactly what you see in here. This is growth pattern. Now, it's that, maybe you can see it here, but this, the whole thing is like that. And that's the flat spot. And where it glued down to the bottom scale is there, that gluey spot right there. That's the biological glue. And this whole thing was held together just like that. Boom, just like that. And then another one layered right over the top and the top and the top and the top. It's just the way they make the terracotta tiles.
Never made sense. If things don't make sense, then we have to find what does make sense. What makes sense is that this is one of the largest creatures that was ever on this earth, and that this is the outer edge of that creature, and this.
All right, look at that.
This is the outer pattern? Layer of.
That's this pattern of skin or tissue, or maybe it's the feathers.
That creature.
Or maybe it's just this, the texture of this, the scale. But it is, that's biological, no question whatsoever. Look at that.
That's it.
Alright, this is like an absolutely enormous creature. And these are the kind of slabs that are on this creature. Now, we all know to look for the blood vessels. I talk about it all the time. Everybody's starting to come around to that. Greg's very good at this. He's seeing what is needed to be seen. And here it goes. Black.
Moving on down. This is basically just soft tissue. We've got.
You see that? These are all blood vessels, and they're of the black blood, which is the vein blood variety. Now, I have found all these creatures are red blooded. As far as I can tell, 100% red blooded. You know, that's what I'm seeing. I see that in the samples he sent me. It sure look red blood to me.
We've got the red for the FeO3. We've got more red for FeO3.
Everything has to be fed with blood. This has to be fed with blood. Oh, that's just a rock. That's just an old scale. Well, no, it's not. It's fed with blood right there. It's fed with blood right there. And I know that because I looked at it. You can see it in the microscope shots from the last video. So, and everything, it has to be, your tendon, balls, and all that stuff. They look like solid stone. When they solidify, yeah, but they have to have some nutrients. Otherwise, they wither and die within your body. There's nothing that is not nutriated, nutrified.
Over here, we have black FeO2. Everything is exactly like Roger's always said.
Wait, look back there. Wait. Greg. Step back here, buddy. Let me just look at one thing. Look at that. I think that is dripping red blood out of there. Let's just take a slower look here. Hold on.
Here,
Oops.
we have black FeO2.
There it is, right? No, I guess that's a tree or something. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes though, you should see, I have some that show blood dripping like a river. Literally like a river out of them. And of course it turns to red ochre.
Everything is exactly like Roger's always said.
Absolutely right, Greg.
So this is the grandest scale imaginable. I mean, I'm standing right here. It's hard to even grasp what I'm looking at.
He's already on the top of a mountain you wouldn't believe.
But it's true. And I am looking at it. And I am walking up this thing. This is the gigantic flesh of a gigantic creature. This is too big to point out that this is an elbow, or this is a knee, or this is a heart, or this is a lung. This is all
It's just 100%
one
biology.
gigantic thing. And it was formed in layers, just like tissue. Just like the tissue of a reptile.
Now, the other thing I want to point out, this is over basically, is that when you look at layers of tissue and layers of skin and so forth, they seem to be, a couple of layers. Well, in reality, if you could get down to the level of the layers of the skin and know the thicknesses that really are in the layers of the skin, I think, and I'm almost certain of what I'm saying, from the mud fossils, there, as you can see, there's literally thousands of layers between tissues. Now, they could say, oh, no, that's just because of this old stuff here. No, I don't think so. I think this is a macro image of what we are now. I know we're not dragons, but, maybe some of us are, but that's, I don't know. All I can say is I think tissues and membranes have such complexity to them, we just don't understand it yet. Just don't understand it yet. All right, look at this. He just climbed straight up here. I think he's exhausted. I would be. And he's so far up already on the mountain. It's just incredible. And and when he turns around and looks, it's like he's not even started. It's amazing. He said, I guess he fell almost 75 feet off of one of these edges.
To show, look at this. This is not a boulder. This is one
dragon scales all over
of a creature. This is just the bump on its skin. That's all this is. This is just one raised point on the skin. Also, here are the moss and lichens, which, like Roger said, feeds all the blood, and it never makes
Those would have been all the little black spots that we had talked about
sense to me that
before.
moss and lichens grow on stone if there's no nutrition available to it.
Oh, they love blood.
Because a creature is going to eat every time. And if there's no food available, then
Look at this.
it wouldn't
He
be
looks
there.
back up the hill and it goes forever up the hill still.
This right here is one of the most telling aspects I've seen so far. This right here. This was not lava. This was nothing else except a living, breathing creature from antiquity.
Look, so now he's still looking up the hill from where he was. Look at this.
So right there is where I was just standing. And on the side of what's supposed to be a boulder, this is the side of what's supposed to be, what mainstream would tell you is a boulder.
There's another one of those scales.
Is blood. The inside of this thing is tissue. It's muscle tissue, it's some type of tissue.
That's another one of those scales. You see it, sir?
There is a black line going across there. That's your FeO2, covered in bugs. And if I was to get this wet, like this is a larger, much larger piece, exactly like the small piece I took home last night.
Oh, wait a minute. Here, I'll show you that. Hold on 1 second. All right. This is, you see the architecture, that angle? This is what the dragon scales are. Now, this was in a different condition, you know, in some kind, I can't say. For some reason, because it's powdery, it's all dusty and powdery, and it's been assaulted by something, whether salts or acids or whatnot, have changed this from being like this. I believe they probably started out similar, although I can't say that for a fact. I have no clue at this point. I'm really kind of having a hard time understanding everything. Well, I understand anything, but it's got to be looked at. It's so overwhelming that the average person has a hard time accepting it. But when you see what's there, I mean, you can't not accept it. You have to say, well, let me look at it. Unless you just, you know, unless you just not interested. And I find that so hard to believe. But there, it's just everybody's not interested. A lot of people, they have no interest whatsoever. Very hard for me to believe. But all of these little blood vessels, they're blood vessels. They're not holes in there for no reason.
It was bleeding. Just like this. Just like this right here.
See, there's no little dragon scale.
Just like this. Black and red. Everywhere I look. So.
Alright, now, you know, some of this stuff does concern me. I have DNA from giant humans. I mean giant humans. And it's all over the place. So it's not like I have anything special, but it's a little concerning to expose these things and speak about them. However, it did say that in the end, everything shall be exposed, and only truth is what you want to look for. So if to hide something is not truth. So in that vein, I mean, we talk about DNA, and you know, this is a giant dragon. That's what it is, a giant dragon. So it concerns me a little bit, you know, and the thing in the desert and all that stuff really concerns me a lot. Am I exposing something that should be hidden? But if it's hidden from the average person, would the bad people know about it? And I'm sure they would. So it's better that everybody knows something, and that's the way I feel about it. That's how I felt about it from the beginning, but it still concerns me. So anyway, listen, this is something to think about.
There are the building blocks that make up creatures right here. Only this is one creature. One and only one creature. This right here could be a DNA sample. In fact, this is going to be DNA sample.